Well guys, it's Monday 10th October and I've been back from Parco in Italy, which was its own video, some 3 weeks or so now. And tomorrow, Tuesday, from a few days ago, we had the opportunity to fish Feuillette this week, in addition to what we already, Paul and I, had booked starting next Sunday. Well, I couldn't go the weekend, so Paul and I are travelling out early in the morning. He's travelling up from his home in France. I'm leaving here tomorrow morning, so we've actually got, thanks to the Dutch boys who kindly offered us the trip, we've got till Tuesday till Sunday to fish, and then our week that we've had planned for nearly a year now will start from Sunday. So that means we've got 12 days fishing. I fished Feuillette with Paul, Remco, who we're catching up with on Sunday, and Hisham, and a couple of other Dutch lads, as I say, on Sunday. But for now, I'm skirting around, getting my packing done, and I'll be travelling tomorrow morning. Feuillette, if you look back on the video last October, a few of us caught fish up to £60. It's a very prolific venue on the back of Etang 5, so it's only like 2¼ hours from Calais. Not the easiest of waters to get on, but yeah, really looking forward to it. And some of you might remember it's where Paul caught his big sturgeon and one thing and another. So yeah, as I say, I'll set off in the morning and yeah, got fishing for 12 days. Well, Tuesday morning, 7 AM. And there's a lot to be said for coming out on a Tuesday, because it is very quiet. Didn't even queue for me breakfast. So, yeah, it's cold and still, but overcast, bit of rain. And boy, am I looking forward to this trip. Well, it's lunchtime Tuesday, and like I think I said at the intro yesterday, what an easy journey it is down to Feuillette. Arrived here about an hour ago, it's 2¼ hours from Calais, and about 15 minutes after I arrived, Paul turned up. So we're just getting our gear out, see all the mess that goes with setting up. The sun has come out, it's been very foggy and misty and everything else here at night. And we're in Peg 1, which we'll talk about later on. But for now, we're going to skirt about, a few cups of tea, and yeah, get plotted up. This is mainly a night water, very few bites. I've never known a water quite like this with so few bites here during the day. But anyway, we're plotting up, taking our time, and yeah, we'll get the video kick started once we're all settled, and that magical minute when all your rods are plotted up, you're both sitting down, you've got a cup of tea and your traps are set. That's a few hours away yet, and we'll be catching up with the boys. So we'll let Paul set up, we'll catch up with him in a minute, and we're in, you know, what is a hot peg here. And yeah, thanks to the boys, the Dutch boys, we've got this peg. They've been here since Sunday, a couple of them are going home, a couple are turning up tomorrow. But as I pan round, we fished, Paul and I, last year over there. Remco and Hisham fished over there. This is the out of bounds area to our right. Right now, you've got Arjun's over there in Peg 5, and we'll catch up with him later on. Dutch boys are over there, but for now, we're going to be plotting up, and this is going to be our camp till Sunday, and then another one moved. Yeah, there's a few fish moving over here. So anyway, let's it's back on me. Let's get set up and yeah, get the camera out in a little while. Well, it's about 7 o'clock now, Tuesday evening, and we've been plotted up now a couple of hours, just about to have an early dinner, and then yeah, the nights are drawing in. We've had a sort of a cold easterly coming in, and it's bright blue skies, so I reckon it's going to be a cold night. But you know what, this is a night water and we've got the best time to come. So we'll catch up with Paul, we'll have our dinner, have an early night, been a long day, and yeah, the excitement's building. Yeah, so it's just setting the scene really. That's me there, just round there. There's Paul, got a shed over there with our cooking equipment in. And we're in, well, this and Peg 5 are the 2 hot pegs on this lake. So we're spread out from in this corner where Paul is, We're spread out, alternating 2 rods, 2 rods. There's the out of bounds over there, and there's a margin rod down here, otherwise the rods are in between. And yeah, some fish moving, and yeah, best time to come. Well buddy, been a long day, but yeah, we're just about to have dinner now.
Yeah,
Hey, same old, eh?
Same old, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's almost a year. We was here last, you and I, for our first trip with Rem.
Next week it'll be a year, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, anyway.
Nice to be in peg 1.
It is, isn't it? It's a hot peg, you know what? The pressure's on us to perform.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, do you feel like you're under pressure now? No excuses.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Let's have a look in the cooking house. It's quite handy having this shed, to be fair. So we've kitted it out. Paul's got his oven. Oh, I can smell the curry. And yeah, nice and comfortable. Yeah, Paul's in. It's about 9 o'clock. I'm shaking because it's bloody cold. But yeah, got a bite. 48.12.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done, Paul. Happy days. There's Paul with a 48.12. Tuesday night, first fish. Yeah, here's the other side of 48.12. Superb.
Happy days.
Yeah, lovely. Half hour after Paul put that cart back, he's had this sturgeon.
Things up there for you.
There we go. Yeah, you've had bigger, but it give a good account of itself, didn't it?
Oh,
look.
It's a bloody nightmare.
Yeah. Get him, go swimming back, bloody thing.
There we go. Kevin's got one. There we go. Kev's still playing it.
It's probably just before midnight. Had this fish, 39.12. You want it?
Yeah, lovely.
Superb, well chuffed with that.
Well done, mate.
Fish called single scale. Don't know why it's called single scale. You want it?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah?
Yeah, lovely.
Lovely. Well, it's been a great start, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not even midnight, and we've both had one, and Paul's had the sturgeon. So, yeah, stuck it back out there now, and which is obviously a hot area for sure. You wouldn't mind betting that's the banker rod for the rest of the week. We'll see. But yeah, well pleased, and yeah, time for a cup of tea.
Exactly that.
Yeah. I think this is early hours of Wednesday morning. Paul's had this 49.5, I think it was, wasn't it, Paul?
We ate at 47.
Yeah, 47.5 was it? Yeah. Yeah, lovely. Well done. There we go. Yeah, superb. 47.5. Well done, Paul.
Cheers, Kev.
Well done, Paul. Superb start, hey?
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, nice one.
Well, there we go. Kev's got another one. God knows what time in the morning it is, but this one's 54.5.
You want it?
Yeah, mate.
54.5. Well chuffed.
Yeah, it's a cracker.
Got it?
Yeah, mate.
Lovely, let's turn it round. On it?
Yeah, lovely.
54.5 pound. Early hours of Wednesday morning. Couldn't be more pleased with that. Superb.
Great first night's fishing. Well done, mate. Right, here we go. Kev's in again. This is bite number 7 for us now. This is Kevin's 3rd one.
Well, just as we're about to photograph me holding this, guessing about 23 pound, Paul had his rod on the reeds and it's gone off. So now we're going to get this back and go and give him a hand. Well, you can see at best probably 100 yards, as you can see here. It's been a misty night all night, but boy have we had some action. It's a great start to the trip. As I pan round, you know, it's the nighttime bite you're waiting for. Daytimes just don't seem to happen.
Destroyed by a sturgeon.
I wouldn't be so convinced it's a sturgeon.
Oh no, true, but it does feel like it, to be fair. It's taken a lot of line. Still a good 100 yards out.
There's a carp, yeah. So Paul's gone from you thinking that's a sturgeon.
I know it's a carp now, but
To
I
me,
just
not
can't
so
believe
sure.
it.
We saw it, it's a carp.
Unbelievable.
Happy days. Yeah, happy days. She's in. Superb. Well done, well done.
Mad, I don't think.
That was a good fight, that, wasn't it?
Oh, that's something else that was. I'd never ever have thought that was a carp in a million years. What a scrap. Must have took 70 yards of line off me at one stage. Still.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
There we go. 48 and a half, was it?
Yeah, 48 and a half.
Yeah, superb.
I'm happy with that.
I'll bet you are.
Right.
Well, it's about 8 o'clock Wednesday morning. We couldn't have asked for a better start, could we?
No, not really.
Yeah? Yeah?
Not
That's
really.
superb.
Yeah. So 39, 3, 47, 2 48s and a 54.
Yeah,
And that mid-20 common.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a mad night's fishing.
I think we deserve a cup of tea, don't we?
I reckon so.
Yeah, so just setting the scene now. As I say, Wednesday morning about 8 o'clock. This mist is going to take some lifting. But yeah, great start to our trip. But that's what can happen at Feuillette. Yeah, this is a very prolific venue. There's no question of that. And we're in a great swim. So let's try and make the most of it. Well, it's midday now, Wednesday, and that turned out to be a hectic night. The mist is just now clearing, as it was this time yesterday when I turned up. So I'm going to do myself a toasty, make a few calls and stuff. But you know what? It's got the better of Paul. Yeah, because he's dead beat. Yeah, let's have a look at him. Oh, yes.
Bait.
Knocked the pipe out of you, isn't it?
Yeah. Pacing myself.
Alright, well, if there's anything I can do,
I'll give you a shout.
just give me a shout. I'll look after you. I've took the dinner out for tonight, so that's defrosting.
Yeah, for me to cook. Yeah.
Alright, so you just relax, I'll do everything else.
Alright. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, so just setting the scene, midday Wednesday, you can see this is the first time now since this morning that we can actually see the far bank. And the sun's going to come out, and when this is cleared it's going to be a lovely day as it was yesterday. But until now it's been freezing. Do you know what? It's early afternoon Wednesday, and it's a beautiful afternoon now. The cloud has and the fog and this, that and the other has disappeared, and it's warm. And me and Paul, we're like the Romans from a couple of 100 years ago when they did their arrows. We're getting ready to attack, and that attack comes at night. So while it's warm and we're not shivering and we've got the inclination, we're tying up rigs and we're doing all the things anglers should do, ready to go into battle. Well done, Paul. Slaved in the kitchen all day. Oh. Well, it's 7 o'clock now, Wednesday evening. Just had a lovely dinner, and yeah, thanks to Al for the lamb, my Al, and thanks to Paul for preparing it all. And we're just going to have a cup of tea, and confidence is high. This wind, it's an easterly wind, but you know what? We caught them last night, and we're hoping with this sort of wind that we've got now that we're not going to get that mist that we had all night, which really stopped us getting out a couple of the rods. But anyway, yeah, as you can imagine, confidence is high, and yeah, looking forward to the night ahead. Can't take anything for granted. Had a cracking night's fishing last night and early hours of this morning, but tonight's a different night. But you know what? We're feeling good. Well, Paul had a small one earlier, and he's now got this fish. Certainly over £50. About 2 o'clock in the morning. Give a great account of itself. Let's have a look at this fish. Well, that's a superb fish. Paul's put his waders on now. You can photograph that in the water. It's a big fish, 59.5, cracking creature. So yeah, let's get it photographed, get it back. Yeah, it's starting to feel like a quiet night. It's for me so far. And yeah, that ripped off. We're on it, Paul. Superb fish, early hours of Wednesday morning. 59.5 £. Great fish. Look at that. Superb. Yeah, we're on it. There we go, here's the other side, got just one peck. There we go. Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I bet you are. Well done.
Wicked.
How are you feeling right now then?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I bet you are.
Yeah, I'm buzzing.
Fought well, they fight well here, don't they? Yeah.
Not real on it, you can't figure out whether they're carp or sturgeon, can you?
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah, that mindset does go through your head, doesn't it, when they start tearing off?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, let's
well
get
done.
them out again and see if we can catch a bigger one, eh?
Well angled. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, great, brilliant. Thanks, Kev.
Well, Paul, another lovely fishing in it.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, a couple of hours after the last one, superb common. Let's get it out.
Yes, mate. See how big it is.
Yeah, Paul's got a common here, £48. Yeah, superb. There we go, all £48 of a superb fish.
Cracker.
Well, it's Thursday morning, 11 o'clock, and yeah, I've just wound in because I'm going up to have a shower with Arj and the supermarket and stuff. I didn't have a bite, and I thought something must be wrong, especially on my 2 hot rods. Well, sure enough, it was. One I wound in, load of zebra mussels around the hook and the bait, and my other rod was on a snag. So it's all steamed up now. So yeah, very disappointing. But you know what? Paul had 3 lovely fish, and around the lake there were fish caught in 2, and Arjun and the boys. We'll catch up with them in a minute. So all said and done, yeah, probably just a bit unlucky for me that I didn't get a bite because I weren't presenting properly. But anyway, let's go and catch up with the boys.
The meat.
Ruben, you've been on this camera before, have you?
No.
No? Ah, so Ruben.
Don't need to be.
Fine.
Hello,
Don't
Kev.
know who that is. And Kevin. How's it going, boys?
Okay, Kev, you?
Yeah? No. Because my 2 best rods, one was zebra mussels on the hook,
Yeah.
and the other rod snagged. So I didn't get a bite, but Paul had 3, up to 59.12.
Very nice.
How about you guys?
7 fish on this night, huh?
Yeah,
Kev is a specialist, Kev, so you don't have to talk to me, just ask him.
No.
yeah, he's the
Biggest-
expert, huh?
Yeah.
But the biggest 50.
Mid-50 biggest, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, and the boys done well opposite. I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, the guy's in 2 heads.
Bane?
7, I think.
Sturgeon, only sturgeon.
Only sturgeon. Ruben?
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. Oh well. We go and have a shower together then, Arj.
Nice.
Yeah, let's do that.
Look forward to it.
We'll catch up with the boys as the week progresses, but that's peg 5 down there, where Arjun and Kevin are fishing. That's the out of bounds, and Paul and I are over there. So we're fishing towards our right. That's where we're getting the bites mainly, on the corner and round the corner. That's the out of bounds there, and then, as I say, Kev and Arj are fishing from that side. And then as we pan round, that's the Dutch boys opposite in 2. They're doing well. And you've got Bane and Ruben here. I think this is peg 4. But this end of the lake doesn't seem nearly as prolific as that half. That makes sense. Just walking into Arjun and Kevin's swim I was referring to earlier. So this is peg 5. You've got Tang 5. That's Tang 5 behind us there. But yeah. Kevin, you catch all the fish on all the rods?
Yes, this night all my rods gone off. Dus even Arjun are quiet, hè. Hengels waren stiller, hè.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And first Kevin's rods went, mostly in the night, and after that mine start going.
And are you fishing your own rods or alternate rods?
We're fishing own rods, but also, well, we see how it goes, you know.
Yeah. So tell us what you're doing rig-wise, Arj.
Nothing special, Kev, just...
You always say that, nothing special.
It's a little bit different than on Rainbow, but still a big hook, bit thinner hook link material, thinner leader, and just drop the ledge, you know, if you get a bite.
Yeah. Yeah, so unleaded leader here.
Yeah, it's pinned down this time.
Yeah, just some, and then, all very simple. And the boilie on the end.
Yeah.
And you're still using your boilies. What's this firm called, Arj? Who? Dream bait, yeah. So what's
Those
this?
are small ones. I used more like 20 mils and things.
Yeah.
This is just a bucket of small ones. Small
Is it?
bait seems to be good over here.
Is this a fish meal, Arj?
Yeah, it's a grill and octopus, that one.
So you're not being travelled with sturgeon and things then?
Well, I was proud enough not having caught one sturgeon, but I had my first one last night. So nice 60.
60 pounder, yeah. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
And what about Kevin? You doing a similar thing, Kevin, with bait and rigs?
No,
No?
I have other rigs.
What are you using then?
I have.
Let's have a look.
This is my
So yeah, drop off lead, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whiplash.
Again, yeah, unleaded type material.
Whiplash.
Whiplash, yeah.
These are my rigs.
Yeah, cool. And what hook length is this?
Corda.
Oh, the Corda. Corda camo.
35, yeah.
Yeah, Corda camo.
35,
Yeah.
I think 35
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah. And you've been fishing here how many years, Kevin?
From 2009.
2009, right, yeah.
First time, September, last week. 2 nights, I think, yeah.
Yeah,
have a lot of
good.
fish.
Yeah, Kevin's caught a lot of fish here.
Last
A
year.
lot of fish.
In July, they had a week with over 300 fish last year in July it was, Kevin?
Yeah.
Wow.
Last year, 158 takes, I think. It's very good week. I think over the whole lake, 300 fish. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, yeah. Serious
Yeah,
water this.
this year, September, I think, 70 takes here. Biggest, what was that?
Yeah, the
30
yellow one you had like 75
yeah,
or so.
75, I think. Dus yeah.
Yeah, very, very
Yeah,
prolific
special
venue this.
lake.
Yeah, very
It's so
special.
special, you know yourself, Kev, because you get many bites, but you also get a lot of 40s and 50s.
Yeah, big average size arch. Yeah,
And
big.
now we're getting a bit less bites, but average is very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So if you have this, you don't need the inverter. Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just talking to Ruben about charging batteries when you haven't got access to electricity. And these guys, yeah. You know, I always say, Ruben, it's the same with koi. Us English guys, we come up with good ideas, right? Carp
Yeah.
fishing and koi. I keep koi
yeah,
carps,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
And we come up with the ideas, and then you guys and the Belgians and the Germans,
Steal 'em.
you take the ideas and make them better. Yeah, you really do. Yeah, it's,
That's true.
yeah. Anyway, but yeah, for me being the numpty that I am, I just need to get my head around some of this. Yeah, and while I'm on that subject, yeah, you'll see around there I'm using the new Bankside, but not Bankside, Bivy Bank solar panel, and it looks really good. So I've got that charging right now, just topping up my bait boat batteries. Well, it's Thursday afternoon now, about 2 o'clock, and got back from the shower, had some lunch with Paul, and I'm just gonna have a little search around this right hand corner. We've heard fish down here the last couple of nights. I've not had a bite down here. I feel like I should be getting a bite down here, so I'm just going to have a mosey round with a boat and a fish finder, see what's going on, and I'll reposition this rod this evening. But yeah, we'll catch up with the bait boat. I've had it a year now. I ain't used it a great deal, but Remco, who owns Navigator Bait Boats, he's here on Sunday. I'm fishing with him for the following week, Paul and I. And for those, you know, I've had loads of questions fired at me about the bait boat and this, that and the other. And like I've said before, there's a lot of bait boat options out there. So, you know, have a look round, make your choice. But next week, we'll have a more detailed look for those that are interested at the bait boat. But for now, yeah, just going to have a skirt around and see what's going on in this corner. You've got to learn how to interpret the echo sounder, and again, these are just simply where I've turned the bait around, the boat around. But again, I want Rem to talk us through. Just that's the important thing. You know, let me just turn it round to me. It's all well and good. I've learned having these fish finders, but you've got to know how to interpret them. Let me tell you, and we're going to spend some time with Rem understanding it so I can play it back for myself, because half the time with all this technology I've got, you know, the instruction manuals are crap. You can't beat an easy to follow video. So yeah, as I say, we'll have a closer look at that with Rem next week. But you know, it's paramount you understand what's going on that screen, otherwise, you know, there's more to it than just the depth. It's, you know, a number of other things, let me tell you. Arj, this is history repeating itself.
Yeah.
When you invaded England, was it about 80 years ago or something?
Looks the same or not?
100 years ago, the Vikings, they're back.
Yeah.
Oh
You
my
talk
God.
about the Brexit, you told me, so.
Yeah. What you got behind your back? You worry me, you do. You got something, ain't you? Well, it's about 7 o'clock now, Thursday evening, and yeah, had a chill out day in truth. Just about to have some dinner, Paul and I. not a big dinner, having had a huge lunch, and yeah, anticipation builds. And it was this time yesterday, you know, I was looking forward to the night ahead. It was a frustrating one for me in the end, you know, with the rods not fishing properly, but you know what, that's fishing. What we did see was some great fish that Paul caught, and the Dutch in 2 and the Dutch in 5, they also caught very well. So yeah, a lot of fish coming out. So tonight it'd be really good to get a bite, let me tell you. Just saying on the camera, Paul, that anticipation of the night coming in, you know, with the days being so quiet, it's a night water for sure, isn't it?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, it's all nights, isn't it? Just trying to get some sleep in the morning once it's all finished. That's the trouble, isn't it? Because you are awake all night.
Yeah, your body clock ends up being all over the joint.
Yeah, mine's already started to go all over the joint.
Yeah,
not sure when to eat.
Yours is going over all the joint because you're catching. Mine's all over the joint because I'm landing.
Yeah. At a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
That can all change,
Yeah,
we know
can all
that.
change, would be nice. We'll have a light bite to eat. That sandwich you done lunchtime, I'm still digesting it.
Yeah, same here.
I must have had 14 sausages in that sandwich.
No, well, there was 4, but yeah, it was enough.
Yeah, all right, buddy. Yeah, let's have a light bite.
Yeah, no worries.
So, yeah, just panning round now. Yeah, this is the scene. It's milder, it's cloudier than it has been. Still an easterly wind. But, yeah, hopefully that mist don't come in. It wasn't in last night, and it makes for much easier fishing when it's not there, let me tell you. There we go, Thursday night about 11:30. Paul's had this one, £30 on the nose. Superb. Lovely. Great. How big you reckon that, Paul?
Oh, 16 pounds.
Yeah, there you go, but nice, pretty, about 6:30 Friday morning. Nice, pretty mirror. Well done, Paul. Yeah. Get going back. Oh. So what happened in the night then? It's fairly quiet then.
Loads of liners, I know. Yeah, I just fell asleep, so yeah, actually nice to get a night's sleep to be fair, but it's been hectic with line bites this morning.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hold me back! Hold me back! I'm gonna thump him! Yeah. I couldn't work out what you'd done. It was so obvious that I didn't see it till I got in the bivvy, you nutcase.
And you found nuts and...
I found about 25 kilos of it.
lot of rats.
No rats, I cleaned it up. I'm going to get you back now, don't worry about that.
I hope.
Because when you left, I'm thinking, he hasn't done something, I'm okay. And then I've gone in my bivvy. Anyway, guys, come together. Tell me what you've been up to.
We didn't sleep a lot, huh?
No. 20 fish. 11.
13 over 20 kilo, I think.
Yeah.
7 of them
13
50s and a
50s.
60.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, great.
We are doing something wrong, Paul and I, because I'm saying last night we should be catching fish. I didn't have a bite. But thanks to your advice, we are doing it this morning. Or this afternoon, we're going to move it about. We've obviously been fishing wrong. Must be doing something
Well,
wrong.
the first night you had 6 or 7?
Yeah, we did, Arj, but even so, you know, we're in, you know, one of, if not the best swim on the lake. We ain't catching. Not nearly enough. And for you to have that result...
The fish moved a lot as well, because 2 was slow now. So we had more fish in the area, but we changed a few little things as well. Put a bit less bait on it, you know. So
Right, well, what we'll do is then, so you've just had the 60.
Yeah,
Cool. Right, let's quickly look at that. Yeah, and then I'll... You know what we have? It always helps my head, especially when he's around. Cup of tea. We have a cup of tea.
Butter is almost boiling.
It's almost boiling, and then, let's have a look at the fish, huh? So we're just panning round again in Arjun and Kevin's swim in peg 5. And just going to get that common. That's us over there. And a quiet night for the boys in 2. And up in peg 4 they had a couple. But, yeah. That's going to take some lifting. We've got a £60 common. Boys have just had. Superb. So you caught this a couple of days ago?
Yeah, 4 days.
Yeah.
4 days
Well
ago.
done. Yeah, you must be very pleased with that.
Very nice fish.
Yeah.
Happy, huh?
Yeah, look at that. Superb.
Yes.
Arj, you mentioned you make a little change of tactic last night.
Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you see, nothing escapes my attention, Arj. What tactic change have you made?
Just not so much bait. Normally this is a lake where you can put out a lot of bait, and now we put a bit less out, you know. Just little changes, you know. Balance the hook baits and things. It seems to make a big difference. Normally, you know how I am. I just like to use bottom baits, 20 mils. But now we use like more wafter style and things. It makes hell of a change. That's well, also some fish moved in our area, but
Yeah, cool. Right, we'll have another look at your
I
rigs
think
then.
if you make a little change, you'll catch straight away.
Yes, and we're going to make the change thanks to you and Kevin and the advice you give us.
Kevin, really.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, you give us some good advice. We put that into action today for the next 2 days in the swim.
Oui.
We feel like the pressure is on. Yeah?
Pressure.
Oh, here we go. What's that? There we go. We're on it. Yeah, I've said it on these films before. When you come round and you see the sort of action and the quality of the fish and everything's being caught, and I'm sitting around there couldn't buy a bite. It really, you know, as great it is to see these fish, crikey, I could do with some myself. That first night was a great night, and we're thinking, right, that'll set a precedent. Well, Paul's gone on to catch some great fish, including a 59-12. But right now, just, you know, Kev came round, we're probably not fishing it in the best way that particular swim, so looking back, you know, we could have probably improved the way we were fishing it. Well, we're making amends starting this afternoon, but you know, right now I'm in that mode where I could really do with a couple of fish just to give me some confidence that I'm doing the right thing, not least of all, not so much the bait and the rig, but maybe in the right spot. I think that's what it's about. Well, mid-afternoon Friday, Paul's buzzer goes, and we've had this grass carp. How big was it?
31.
£31. They go nuts, these things, so I'm keeping my distance.
Yeah, cheers for that.
Yeah.
There's the boat out there, and you can see the flat spot further out. There's a hump out there, just probably 20 foot short of that buoy out there. Nice hump comes up, it's about 2 foot high and everywhere. So you happy where that landed?
I am.
Nice hump, wasn't it?
It was, and I could do with a bite on this rod.
Yeah,
I've moved this rod from the left more to the right.
Yep, I think we're going with what we've been told and what we've seen last night with what Arjun's had over there. So I think it makes sense to do what we've done today. Let's see what happens.
Well, Friday night dinner. Bon appetit, as they say in Spain.
Never know where it finds. Lovely.
£28 early hours of Saturday morning. Most welcome fish. Well pleased with this. Yeah, full fish. It's been a while coming, that's for sure. It's been a quiet night so far. So well chuffed.
Hold on, mate.
Well, it's 5:30 Saturday morning. I've just put that £28 back and Paul's has torn off. And yeah, we've noticed the wind overnight has changed completely from east to due west. So it's from behind us going over to the far bank. Certainly feels warmer as a result. Paul's returning the fish. A £22 common. Yeah, nice one. Well, just setting the scene now, 9:30 Saturday morning. And yeah, whilst Paul and I had that one each, yeah, still slow for us. Don't know what's come out of the rest of the lake, we'll find out. Gonna wind in shortly, go and do a bit of shopping, have a shower. But that wind had turned around, you can see now. It's coming straight behind us, not a big wind, but heading up the other end of the lake, that's a due westerly, I would say. Or maybe it's not actually, that's coming up in the east. Yeah, don't know, I'll have to work that out. That's coming up in the east, that's the west behind us, I think. I don't know. Anyway, well, just winding in to go up the shops. And again, I've had that for the second time this week. Them little muscle things around your rig. Well, we've been up the supermarket, Paul and I had a shower, and you know what, guys all round the lake are catching a lot of fish and we ain't, so we've got to regroup tonight, that's for sure. But in the meantime, we're going around catching up with the boys because most of them go home tomorrow. In the meantime, I've met David, who works for JRC and Berkeley. And like I always say to the guys on these videos, if you've got an interesting product, I'm keen to show it to people, not least of all myself. Well, talking with David, he's got an interesting line, amongst other things. I fished with the Pure Fishing boys, or I should say the JRC guys, what was it, 3 years ago now when we did a video on rainbow. So yeah, regards to you guys, and Jan, if you're watching this, yeah, great fishing again, mate. You bloody showed me how to do it there, didn't you? But in the meantime, we'll catch up with David and yeah, see what he has to say about some new products. David, whenever I speak with you Dutch guys, I'm always angling the camera right up because you're all so tall. Yeah.
Maybe just different angle or something.
But you need to be close to the camera so
right.
we can hear you
right,
well,
right,
yeah? Especially
right.
with the wind.
I understand.
So anyway, David, you're fishing here for a few days. You go home tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself, who you work with, briefly.
My name is David, or actually you pronounce it pretty well, David, in Dutch. I work for several brands actually, like you mentioned, JRC, Berkeley, and some other ones as well, Penn for example. I've been in the fishing industry for quite some years actually. I've worked for different companies, and like most guys who are active in the fishing industry, once you get in there, there's no leaving. There's just, you get sucked in, and actually I'm really honored to be active in the fishing industry because honestly I've never had a day where I went in, got in the car and thought, nah, I don't want to go or something. It's great, being active with your hobby, which we all love, of course, especially in this scenery, while we're fishing, hopefully catching more fish, you guys as well. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm part of the team for Berkeley and JSC, and you mentioned some interesting products, and as always, every single company has interesting products, so to say. But to be honest, there is one particular product this year that Berkeley came out with, which I honestly have never seen in my entire time within the fishing industry. It's called the Berkeley Connect CM90. It's part of a range with different lines. You have the CM70, which is a bit cheaper, CM50, which is more suitable for the Eastern European market. A very good fluorocarbon as well. 100% fluorocarbon, and a braid as well. So it's just like this family of lines. But this line in particular is very interesting. The reason why, I will show you. First of all, the packaging is fun. It's this see-through box which you can actually use after you've used the line. For example, for ground baits, those kind of thing, or to soak baits in. It's actually, it's not just something you throw in the bin, but it has a use for itself. Moving on to the line. So if we move on to the line, I will show you how it looks like, what it looks like. There, if you speak to someone who knows a lot about lines, and I'm not particularly somebody like that, but I know more or less how it works. But if you know really, if you talk to the pros, so to say, there is always this choice you have to make. It's either you go for less memory and a lot of abrasion resistance, but then you just have to accept the fact that the line can coil or come off the spool. It's just something you have to accept. If you go for a smooth line, you don't have that problem, but then there's the problem of a lot of memory, and then especially if you fish distances, it can really make a difference. The carp can be meters away without you noticing. This line, the first thing you see is when I just take it out of the spool. I hope it drops straight down.
Yeah,
you know?
it does.
It doesn't.
It doesn't coil or
Right.
It doesn't look springy.
Right, not at all.
Yeah.
It just drops down straight to the floor.
Yeah.
But then, if you look at the memory, this is it. I hope this is visible.
Yeah.
This is
So
all.
it's not got a lot of stretch.
Not at all. Which is, to be fair, is brilliant. Because normally, like I said, there's always this, choice you have to make. Other point is this is a very strong line. It's like 18 pounds, so 40 millimeters in the European market. Look at that breaking strength. It's 12.4 kilos, which is, if you compare it to other brands, with all respect to them, they don't come near as. Not even close. So that is another very interesting point of the line. Then other things is because we did like proper testing with this line. We tested it for a breaking strength, of course, which is the 12.4 kilos, but also shock resistance, because you can actually have a very good breaking strength, but then don't score as high on the shock abrasion, which means that if you cast on a clip, the line for some reason can just break to a point, because the momentum is very high, the strength can be really high. So we have a good shock abrasion resistance as well. And like I said, the line is very smooth and it sinks like a brick, which is of course very important because we don't want the line going all through the swim. So to be honest, and this is like I'm repeating myself, but this is the first line that I've ever seen that has no reason for choosing between two sides. It has all we search for as
an
as carp
all-round
fishermen.
line. Right.
Right.
So what about abrasion resistance then?
The abrasion resistance of this line is great as well. It's actually better than all the lines we've tested, and we've tested, the ones that we know are really good. I'm not going to mention names, but we tested the ones that are familiar. So again, this may sound, like it's not, not really reliable or something, but you can trust me, it scored much higher on all accounts than all the line we've tested. That's why I mean.
How do you test abrasion resistance in a line then?
I haven't been there when they tested abrasion resistance, but
they have a machine or something.
Right.
Then,
It just goes. It takes the lines to extremes. That's what they do with all the testing, and just see what happens. Sometimes they just have to know that for some reason it doesn't break at all, or it doesn't tear at all. But what they do is they test it and then then see the other results. For example, breaking strength after they tested it. For example, they just rub it over something, I guess, damage the line intentionally, and then see what happens to the breaking strength.
And knot strength. That's the other thing. You've got to have knot strength in the line.
Right.
Yeah, so all
these things are tested apart. So it took them 3 years actually to develop this. They were pretty much done within the first year, but then they weren't happy enough. They said, we can do this and we probably sell the line, but then there's much more to take, and I think they made a really good choice.
And this is made in the USA, yeah?
Right. It's developed and made in the
unusual
USA.
then. A lot of lines are made in, is it China, Japan, Germany? Is that fair
Right.
to say?
Yeah, you can say that. Like I said, I'm not going to mention names,
No,
but you
don't
can
do
trust
that,
me.
yeah.
You can
Yeah.
trust me that a lot of lines are more or less from the same area. Just let's just
so you're
put it
being
like that.
diplomatic. We like
A
to be
bit.
diplomatic in
Right,
this
right,
video.
right.
We don't want to upset anyone.
No, that's
okay,
not nice. We all like each other.
Yeah.
So
well,
this
you
is
don't all like each other. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So that's the line.
right.
Okay. And it's in the shop soon, is it?
Yeah, and probably the best part of it is the pricing. You would say that a line like this, with all the great attributes, is worth a lot more than the other ones. To be honest, it's a bit cheaper. And if you look at my heart, I'm saying maybe there's the only mistake we've made, like in the commercial way. But for the consumer, I guess it's a pretty good choice, because these spools, and they come on a spool of 1,200 meters actually.
Yes, I noticed
which is brilliant as well, because we've always struggling with getting the right amount of line on the spools. It's either too short if you go for 3 spools, or it's either way too long. You have like 200 meters that you can't use for 2. So this is again a very good choice, I think. But the price is, I have to say it in euros, it's 24.99 for 1,200 meters. The guys who are familiar with pricing know that it's
well, with the strength of our pound right now, that's about £25.
More or less, yeah.
And in a few months might be 30 quid if the euro keeps getting stronger.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, for 1,200 metres, €25.
I think that's fair to say the least.
Yeah, got it, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's the line. We'll have a couple of looks at the lake.
Right.
Because it's looking very good out there.
Right.
We'll have a quick look at your pod, and then I'm going to go around and have a cup of tea.
Right, that is probably the best idea.
Yeah. As I say, guys, you make up your own minds. That line will be in the shops. I'll do my own test like I always do when I get home, testing it alongside other lines. It's normally the abrasion resistant and knot strength that most intrigues me. I use braid most of the time anyway, but at the same time there are some lakes where you have to use nylon, and that could be an option. So if you're interested, look into it. In the meantime, we'll just have a quick look around the lake, have a cutaway shot of this new pod of JRC, and yeah, best regards to you JRC boys. Look forward to catching up with you again, no doubt soon. Just hope I catch more fish than you next time. Jan.
The way that you just what do you call it? Oh, right. I love dealing with.
So we're here in Peg 3 right now, looking round, and so we're going to catch up with the boys opposite in 4 and 5, and then get back. But the wind is coming now away from us, is what it is. So David, you're making the pod look very pretty. It's
It
looks a
tackle-tarred-ish, you would say.
tackle-tart. That's the word.
No.
Yeah, it looks a well-constructed bit of kit. So what have you got here?
This is the new JRC quad pod. It's part of the new pod ranges that we've actually introduced just now. It's new for 2017. And apart from the fact that it has some, it's made of very light and durable material, as most pods these days, to be honest. It has some really cool features that I haven't seen on anything else. For starters, the leg system. Now, of course, not all pods are the same, but they do all have the leg system, which makes it possible to position your rods pretty much in every single angle that you need. So you can see here. If you can see this, you can see here. There's this wheel. I will show you. Oh, sorry. I will show you how it works. It goes to the side, so you can you can right all the way on top.
Yeah.
Right. If you need, so you can, as you see, I've created some balance on the back here. Just put it a little bit wider, and on the front, I put them just. A little bit more to the front and a little bit closer to the rod.
Stable.
Right, to make it more stable. And that combination, is really.
You can see it is solid.
Right, it's really solid. Yeah, and of course, there you can extend them, and for example, if you have rocks or those kind of things. So it's a brilliant piece of kit, I think.
Yeah.
It comes in a big black bag, which they also taken into account the fact that some guys like to have the alarms on the buzzers, so you can just leave them on. A lot of times it won't fit. Yeah. But these ones they fit. So that's just a nice feature as well. Yeah.
Without sounding controversial here, your buzzers, I use your buzzers.
Right.
I really like them, right?
Right.
They do not seem very popular in the UK, or are they? And I just don't realise it.
I think, to be honest, the UK is a very specific market. You guys have always been like in front of the rest of Europe, so to say. I've seen it on the lakes. When I used to fish on like syndicate waters such as these in France, I would sometimes call the owner and ask him, are there any English? Because if there were, I would just pick another week, because you guys really know how to fish. And I think in that retrospect, this is more or less the same. You guys, you know what you want. You have a very specific idea of how the kit should look like. But I think that especially if you notice the other range of bankware that we introduced actually already, which is not pots, but it's just, like I said, bankware, which can be converted into pots. Nice, slim aluminium bank sticks, very robust. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me, but those guys will see it in the shops soon. It has all kinds of brilliant features, and I think, to be honest, those items are gonna do well in the UK because you guys can appreciate, like the functionality of a product. So
Yeah.
go on.
Okay.
No.
David was just saying that if he was on a lake and the English was on there, he'd book another week because they'd catch all the fish. For me, if I'm looking at a lake and the Dutch are on there, I'm picking another lake because they catch all the fish.
We do our best, yeah.
Unbelievable, you boys. David, he just said earlier that years ago he used to go on a lake, and if the English were there, he would pick another week because the English would catch all the fish. I've just said, in future, I will check if the Dutch are on the lake, and if they are, I will book another week because you catch all the fish. Yeah? And the Dutch and the Belgians. Yeah.
What did you have last night?
One small one each. Yeah. What about you?
It was a bit slower as well, our side.
Yeah, go on, a bit slower. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think we had 6 or so.
Yeah.
Right.
A big 40 and a low 50 as biggest.
Yeah, nice.
Boys here done well, huh?
Yeah, so
Went
what
too
did you
much.
have here?
4 fish.
4 fish,
4,
Ruben.
5 actually.
So they moved up here then on the wind, do
Yeah,
you think?
moved in here
Right.
to the corner.
Yeah. And what size up to?
Biggest one was 22 kilos.
Right, yeah, well done.
48
Yeah,
pounds.
superb. Yeah, yeah, no, and I thought you was going home today.
Yeah, I was.
Right, but you've stayed
I
because you're
couldn't miss
catching.
you. I told you I'd see you again.
Yeah, well, I was hoping you'd go home so you can leave me all your bait and your hook baits and everything else.
Don't do that. No, just I go tomorrow morning, in the end doesn't matter one day.
Right, yeah, no, sure, yeah.
Early.
Yeah, and Kev, so you're consistently catching them there, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for you.
I hope op the biggest mirror in the lake this night, maybe.
He likes
Yeah.
to put pressure on himself.
Yeah.
I want to catch him.
Is that the only one you've not caught?
Yeah. From the mirrors, is it the only that I want to catch him?
Right, okay. Knowing you guys, you
Yeah, the
probably
long
will.
one.
Well, you never know.
Guys, we are going back now.
Right.
So enjoy your barbecue. No, we are eating later. We just had lunch before we come. It looks good, huh?
You can have
It's okay, we have food around there, Bane. Thank you anyway.
They have
So
like
have a nice
they have
afternoon
like
with you
proper
guys,
English
huh?
food.
Yeah, that looks good enough to me.
Right.
go have one.
Just have one, Kevin.
Yeah. No, seriously, because I'm
gonna
not
have
hungry
one.
yet.
He's like, no, but
Yeah.
Smells too good. One.
sure.
Let's say goodbye to the boys. Well, that's been an enjoyable few hours. We went up and had a shower, went up to the supermarket, got some petrol, come back, had a social with the boys, and yeah, it's been a good fun afternoon. Now the ball's in play. We're back at the swim. We've got overnight because tomorrow we could be moving swims, but you know what, that is what it is, and if we move into 2 or 5, it's no big deal moving from 1. And part of me says, you know what, we need to move, not least of all, we've got a southwesterly now, which makes peg 2 probably a better bet. But anyway, we'll play it by ear, see what happens when Remco and Hisham and their buddies get here tomorrow. In the meantime, as I say, all to play for, feeling the pressure in truth. I've had 4 fish, but you know what, that ain't a lot compared with what the others have had. And yeah, it would be nice to get a few more, let me tell you. Just discussing rigs with Paul, and there's a cutaway shot there of my rig, the lead release system with the MCF clip, a long shank hook with the shrink tube to sort of kick it out a bit. So yeah, all very straightforward, as are the boys all round the lake. So yeah, I know people ask me about my rigs and stuff, and I get messages and what have you, and I always say to people, there's much better anglers than me, out there very much into their rigs. There's loads of stuff on YouTube, in the magazines and everything else, and you'll meet different guys with different rigs and all seem to do all right, and then every now and then blank and have it hard. So there is no wonder rig in my opinion, apart from the fact the hair from all those years ago. Well, it's Saturday, was it 7 o'clock, just about to have dinner, and we've got the rods out now. Had a nice leisurely day and it feels good. And Paul and I, we've got this dilemma, although we've probably got a draw tomorrow with the boys that are turning up who we're fishing with next week. Our dilemma is, if we draw, where do we choose? Would we stay in here? Would we move into 2 or 5? And we can't probably really call it until tomorrow morning. What do you think?
No, definitely can't call it till tomorrow.
Yeah.
We won't know, see what happens tonight, isn't it, really?
Yeah. But I'm of a sentiment, I really feel like we should have caught more out of this swim. Although Paul's done all right, I certainly haven't. I really feel like I could do with a couple of fish just to give me a bit more confidence than I've got right now. Or not so much confidence. I'm confident in what I'm doing, just not bloody catching. I'd be more confident in what I'm doing if I was catching. I think that makes sense.
But we still have caught some big fish.
Yeah, no, we have, but crikey, others have caught some loads more. And
this is true.
Yeah, it's like being at a party, everyone's got a bird and I'm going home on my own. It's so familiar. Yeah, so as I say, just setting the scene now, just gone 7 o'clock Saturday night. And the wind, as you can see, swapped round going down now, and it's meant to be mild this forthcoming week compared to what it's been. So yeah, looks good for the week ahead. Just got to make the most of it. It's not easy getting on this lake. Do you know what I was thinking? Did that footage 10 minutes ago with Paul. I'm feeling as confident as you like, thankfully. Yeah, and I've been confident all week. Just don't seem to have got them. But you know what? I am confident. Prospect of a night ahead where it can all kick off here is exciting. And if there was something else I could be doing, I'd be doing it. Right now, I'm doing, the best I can. Let's hope it happens. Well, it's about 11:45 now, Saturday night, and it feels mad for it out there. As I say, it's windy, it's just perfect carp conditions, mild, the whole lot. Issue being, I guess, from a confidence perspective, the wind's blowing the other way into the far corner. But having indication of, me and Paul getting the odd bleep here and there, so you feel like fish are in the area. I'm not hearing anything, but you just feel like it's mad for it out there. And if we're up the right end, they've got to be feeding. If they're up the other end, I'm going to go and look for them in the morning. Let me tell you that. You on it?
Yep.
Right, here we are. I'm so glad I caught this one. 41 and a half. Well placed. Oh, that's deep fish, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, let's get the other side. There. 41.5 pound. Early hours of Saturday morning. Sunday morning, isn't it?
Yeah, Sunday morning.
Yeah, well pleased.
Hold on, mate.
Right. Well, it's just gone one Sunday morning, and I'm so glad to have had that fish. It felt good, and do you know what? I couldn't sleep really. I kept thinking about, tactics and things, because don't get me wrong, that's my 5th fish, but this is the sort of water where, well, as some of the guys have, shown, you can have that in a night very easily, if not more. So it's not like we're smacking its arse, but we're going to give it our best shot in the coming week. That wind is howling down the other end, and as an angler, you sit here and you know, we're changing swims tomorrow, potentially, depending on the draw and stuff, and you wonder, you know, should you be in the teeth of that new wind? You know, equally, you know, there's fish jumping. I didn't hear them. I went straight to sleep earlier. Paul said they was jumping and one thing and another for an hour in front of us. So, as I say, well, yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, all said and done, yeah, pleased to have had that fish. And I was thinking of having a cup of tea. The problem with that is you end up weeing all night. But it might be that I'm up all night because we're catching more fish between me and Paul. We'll see. 36.5 pound. Well placed.